So tax season is upon us, and what does that mean? You get your tax refund checks to do whatever you want with, or pay off your bills, or whatever it is. I had to pay off my daughter's braces. I had to also put some money away, obviously, just for odds and ends, and then I take some money and I buy some niche fragrances. Well, last year I bought 3 fall and winter fragrances because you guys know I love them. This year, it just so happens, I bought 3 freshies, and so I want to talk about them. So without further ado, let's get it. Alright everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Randy, aka FragranceDoud, back with another fragrance video and some banger niche fragrances that I really want to talk about because I just got them in. Everybody gets their tax money at the beginning of the year. You do what you want with them. For me, I'm a fragrance collector, so what do? I buy some niche fragrances. It's just funny because you guys know I love the fall and winter type fragrances. I've had these fragrances literally on my list for quite a while. I mean, probably a year. And I just got it. I had all 6 on my list. I picked the fall and winter ones and bought them last year. And then I didn't buy any of these last year because the prices were terrible. And then at the end of the year, the prices kind of went down and they stayed there until now. And so I'm just really happy that I was able to pick them up. So I want to talk about them. So let me also know in the comments if you guys picked anything up with your tax refund checks. I mean, because it's kind of that time of year. If you're a fragrance collector, it's the best time of year because you got some extra spending money. Before we get into the video, as always, do that stupid stuff, like, comment, subscribe, please do, and also follow me on Instagram and TikTok. It really helps me out. I appreciate it. So again, the first 2 here are going to be your signature super mass appealing heavy sellers. People love them, especially even outside the fragrance community. This first one is known worldwide, even with the people like regular Johns out there. They're just like, yeah, this stuff is flame. Even though it's very similar to some designer fragrances out there, it's better than all of them, to be honest with you. By Parfums de Marly, this is Percival. So Parfums de Marly Percival is a fantastic fragrance that it's ambroxan citrus. It's just, it's flame. So a lot of people compare this to Mont Blanc Legend, which was also compared to Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. And they're not wrong that this is compared to it. But with that said, of all of the ones I just mentioned, this one is much better blended. This one has more going on with it. And while it is in the same realm and very similar style fragrance, this one's going to get you much more compliments. So I owned a very small bottle of this, one of those 75 or 50 mils or whatever they were. And I went through it, and then I had a decant of it that I had from the rest of my bottle. And I wore it this entire year because the original bottle wasn't mine, it was my brother's. And so I had a decant of it. And I wore it this year, like spring and summer. And I got so many damn compliments. Every time that I wore the decant, I was like, you know, I need to buy that bottle. I mean, I have Fierce, I have Legend, I wear them. This one just, for some reason, it is a killer. I walked into Nordstrom's, which the girl there, she smells Creeds all day long. She smells Tom Fords all day long. I walked in there wearing this and she said, what are you wearing? And I said, Parfums de Marly Percival. And she goes, oh yeah, that's amazing. And so I have to tell you, so I don't care what people say. There's niche snobs out there that really just don't like this because it's compared to a designer fragrance. Parfums de Marly, Initio, Mancera, all those type of fragrance houses are niche, but they are designer type inspired. I mean, because of the fact that they are built around mass appeal. And those are my favorite type of fragrances, mass appealing. I want somebody to smell me and say that, hey, that smells great. Yes, I have my personal enjoyment sense, but this is going to be one of the bangers out there, along with the other 2. The third one might be a little bit harder to get around, but so this is Parfums de Marly Percival. It's a spring and summer fragrance, but it's also going to be one that you can wear pretty much all year round. It's one of those kind of fresh fragrances that it does good in pretty much any season. It's just in the cooler months you might want to dial the sprays up while also keeping the sprays up in the spring and summer just because it smells good. I also found out that with this fragrance, as I was wearing through my 15 ml decant, that once you get about 4 to 5 hours into this fragrance, because it is one of those ambroxan, amber woody type heavy fragrances that is going to make some people go anosmic. And it is an anosmic scent for sure. But with that said, I also noticed my wife always told me, I always said to her, can you still smell that? Because I wouldn't be able to smell it much on my skin. And she goes, yeah, that's really good. It smells really good in the air after about 3 to 4, 4 to 5 hours. It's just really a fantastic air scent, even though it does smell good on your skin. Just letting you know, if you don't smell this after 4 hours, because I know I have a lot of people saying the performance sucks. I get 7 hours out of this with above average projection for the first 2 to 3. Then it becomes more of a moderate scent into a skin scent, just kind of slowly going down. But with that said, you do go anosmic to it. I go anosmic to it about 4 hours. I can't smell it, but it is still on your skin and it still smells great. It's more just a warm, sweet scent in the air. Really nice. But as far as the notes are concerned, I didn't really want to go through all of the notes, but you know, you get those lavenders, you get the aromatic notes, you get your citruses, your bergamot, stuff like that. You also do get the woody notes, you get your ambroxan, your amber woods. It's just a really nice fragrance overall that is just going to be mass appealing. It's going to smell great, and it's just amazing. So that's Parfums de Marly Percival. My number one, my first pickup of the year, or actually second pickup, niche pickup of the year. So now going into the second one, which again is another fresh blue. So I mean, you got the blue bottles, so you know this is going to be the blue fragrances. They're the aromatic, they're the fresh, they're the clean, and I can honestly say this is in my top 3 fragrances. Even though I do find the Parfum version just a slight bit better than this one because of the performance and stuff like that. I don't have that because it's like $500 and I haven't seen it discounted at all. By Roja Parfums, this is Elysium. So this is just fantastic. I mean, there's so many notes to this fragrance and so many nuanced undertone notes to this fragrance and accords that it's pointless to even do a note breakdown with this. This is in your Creed Aventus style fragrance. I mean, it literally has different types of notes that you would get in all the different types of fragrances that are in that realm. It has your black currants, it has your citruses, and when I say citrus, it has grapefruit, lemon, bergamot, orange, all of that, and it's all mixed together, and you can smell every one of them at some point in time. It has juniper, black currant, cedar, ambergris, there's ambroxan, I mean, there's literally everything you can get in this. Probably musk and amber, and literally you got your aromatics, your lavenders, your geraniums, I mean, apple, everything that you can think of is in this fragrance, and you can smell it. And there's more that I can think of. I mean, there's pink pepper, there's leather, there's everything that you can think that would be in this type of fragrance. You can smell it at certain points in this fragrance as a nuanced undertone. And so when you first spray this on, it is going to be your fresh blue citrus freshness. Obviously the citrus comes through heavier in the opening. You get that grapefruit, you get that lemon, you get that bergamot, all in there, giving it that bright freshness, that citrusy semi-tartness. It's just bomb. I mean, this fragrance is so good because it's so complex. And at the same time, being so complex with the notes, the smell isn't super complex. It's a very nice, fresh fragrance. And I haven't had a single person that I've talked to that smelled this that said it was bad. I've had a few people say, it's not really my style of scent. I get that, but I've had 99% of the people tell me that they either like it or love it. So Elysium, it's just, if you want, it's expensive. I know that in the beginning of the year when I purchased this, it was a 6-hour deal on Kingdom Fragrances, I believe, and it was $175 for the full presentation, which is nuts. Usually it's like $250, $260. I don't know what it is on discounters. I'd probably say $225, $230, but for $175, this is a steal. Just keep an eye on it, because if you like those style of fragrances, but you're sick of like the heavy woodiness that you get from the Creeds, or the lack of performance you get from certain fragrances, or like some people like Cedrat Boisé, but they don't like the heavy leathers. Some people say that smells like an old man. Or you have your Nishane Hasivat or Hachivat. That is really heavy on the oak moss and the smoke. This one kind of is just a middleman of all of them. If you want something that has a sweetness to it, a warmth to it, it's also bright and a little bit effervescent at times. It has a leather, and it has a little bit of a sweetness and a little bit of a spiciness undertoning it. It has some woods in there, but they're not too heavy. Everything in here is super well blended. That is Roja Elysium, and it is one of the best fragrances I've ever tried. As far as the performance, again, this is another one of those heavy blue fragrances that uses a lot of those notes that are making it go anosmic. But my wife smells it all the time, and I'd say I get about 6 to 7 hours. I mean, I would say 5 to 7, but for me, it's 6 to 7. I do spray on clothes a lot more than most people, though. I spray pretty much my arm, my clothes, my chest, my here, my shoulder, there. I'll spray this probably 7 to 8 times, and it will get me 7 hours. But it's really good fragrance, and for that type of fragrance, I would expect anything over 4 hours is good for me. As far as the projection on it, it's not heavy. First hour is above average, but then it becomes moderate, and then almost to an intimate scent after about 2 to 3 hours, which I know a lot of people, if you're paying that kind of money, you want a better performance. Well, compared to other fragrances out there like Creed and stuff, this performance is better. And I like the way that you can wear it dressed up, dressed down. You can wear it with a t-shirt. You can wear it pretty much anyway. That's Elysium, and it's amazing. Going into the last one, this is a little bit more divisive. People either like have it as their favorite fragrance of all time, or they have it as one they just don't like, or one that they prefer the clone over, which I did bring the clone out just to mention it. I got this from Venba. I had a deal with the guy that owns Venba to get it for $175 as well. By Creed, this is Millesime Imperial, or Millesime Imperial, however you say it. And it's a very reflective gold bottle. It's my second Creed I've ever owned. I own the original Aventus. This is my first 3.4 ounce bottle. The bottles are a lot lighter than I had expected originally, and they don't feel what I expected them to feel like. But with that said, I mean, it's a nice bottle. Still has the plastic cap. I was hoping, because I got it now with the new batches, that it would have that metal cap, but it's still the plastic cap. Millesime Imperial is your sea salty aquatic fragrance. It's one that's going to revolve around pretty much sea salt, sea notes, melon, a little bit of a citrusy undertone, a little bit of woods, a lot of bit of musk. It's great. The clone of it is this one. And yes, my chain is broke. The chain broke in my video if you guys saw it. This is Club de Nuit Milestone. You get better performance with this, according to a lot of people. And yes, you do. You get about 8 to 10 hours on that. On this one, the original the Creed Millesime Imperial, my old decant I have of it, which was probably about 2 years old, it lasted about 4 hours on my skin. So I almost didn't buy it. But then I had some extra spending money, and I was just like, you know what, I'll buy it. This one actually lasts me about 6 to 7 hours. So I don't have an issue with it, and it projects pretty well for the first 3, and then it becomes more of an intimate scent. But it's definitely still there. So when you first spray this on, you're immediately hit with those sea salty aquatics. It's that marine fragrance. You get a little bit of that woodiness undertone, a lot of bit of musk that's under there that pulls up even more as you get further into the dry down. And then over top of the entire fragrance, you get those fruity notes, is what they call it on Fragrantica. But it's really just like a fruitiness with a melon. And it's like a watermelon or some type of melon that is just, and I'm not going to tell you, I go into a store and I smell all the different types of melons, and I can tell you. It does seem almost like a watermelon-ish with some fruity tones back there, but it's all mixed together, and it's really, really nice. It's a very unique fruity scent, so it's not something, if you've never smelled Milestone or Millesime Imperial, you'll not know what you're smelling, because it doesn't smell like anything else out there. There's nothing else that's in the fragrance community outside of clones that smells anything like this. It's a very unique scent. It's one that's going to be more for the spring and summer, unlike the other two, which are going to be more of your fresh signature scents. This one's going to be more, again, spring and summer. And I know, again, people either love this type of fragrance or they dislike it. I personally think that it's bomb. It took it the first time I did try it, I can tell you I wasn't a big fan, but now I am. It's gonna be one that's gonna get you compliments. My wife really likes it. As you get your way further into the fragrance, that melon does start to dissipate more and more as it gets a little bit more of that musky tone. Some woods come in. It's just a really nice fragrance. I mean, it doesn't change too drastically as you get further into the fragrance. It's sweet, it's fruity, it's musky, it has those sea saltiness, and then again, further into the fragrance, the sea salty aquatics really do stay in that fragrance, mixed together with that woods and musk as that fruity tone starts to die down with that melon. Overall, Millesime Imperial, fantastic, super unique, definitely worth the price if you can get it for under $200. I would pay more than that. I would probably pay $250. I mean, I know the prices out there are nuts, but Creed Millesime Imperial, fantastic. And I'm so happy that it's the first 3.4 ounce bottle that I get, followed very, very, very soon by two other ones, and that is Aventus Cologne and Virgin Island Water, my next two definite pickups from the Creed house. So again, the three that I have here: Parfums de Marly Percival, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic fragrance. Again, it's like a niche quality version of Mont Blanc Legend or Fierce, just a little bit different, especially in the opening 15 minutes. Then it gets closer to those two, but it's niche quality, it's better smelling overall, better blend, everything. Then we have Roja Elysium, your fresh blue, which the first one's a fresh blue. It's just this one's super, super, super good. I mean, that's the only way I can put it. If you want that Creed style fragrance, like in that realm of that style of fragrance with the black currants and the woods and all that stuff, and you just want the best blend, Elysium is going to do it. Roja Parfums just knocked it out of the park with this one. And then we have the last one, Millesime Imperial, your sea salt, your sea notes, your musk, your melon. It's just really good. Let me know if you've tried these. What's your favorite from the three of these? If you prefer Milestone over Millesime Imperial, because I know some people do. I personally don't. I mean, those synthetics and stuff like that in Milestone, even though Milestone is one of the best clones out there, there's nothing that is Millesime Imperial, in my opinion. But thank you guys so much, and again, I'll be back with another video. Peace out.